For as long as I can remember, I have been messing with my wife's truck.
Long tube head.
I got the goods. The Y-pipe. This is a camp. May I introduce you to the world's largest, which will balance the exhaust pressure. This is the Whipple Supercharger.
Holy crap! Let's go!
And for better or worse, I think we made a pretty mean truck. I do still have a few crazy ideas that are coming soon, but I did make the deal with her that she would get to choose the next project, regardless of what I think. This is what she chose. This is a 2024 Mercedes Sprinter, and it's going to be transformed into an off-road capable camper van, but with a Lone Star Hawaiian touch.
Not clear!
And like everything we do around here, it's going to be done DIY. You excited for your van build? So this is nothing new to the channel. We've had this for a little while, but we've been saving up our pennies for about a year now to acquire as many parts as we possibly could to build the baddest Sprinter van on this planet. And this is just some of them. The rest of them are too heavy to pull out of there. So officially, for the first time, guys, welcome the Black Pearl to the Mo Better Garage. This is her build. I am free labor.
Yeah, it's mine.
Now we probably need to get this out of the way. Why do we call it the Black Pearl?
Ooh, because she sails.
She sings. Woo, we got a lot happening today. So when it comes to the build out on these Sprinters, there's a lot to them. And I'm learning there is a very high cost associated with every freaking part on this dang thing.
Yeah, sure.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. It said do not stack. The
I can't
opposite of
read.
that. Here we go.
Don't do the YouTuber transition. That's cringy. You would think this is for the whole van. Holy moly, that's a bumper.
But it's precious cargo, so.
I just did a bumper right there. You know what it came in? Nothing. It was wrapped in saran wrap. One package.
It's a pre-runner.
If you guys are ever wondering why I'm working 2 jobs. All right, so this is a bumper from FVC, which is Flatland Van Company? Flatline Van Company. Sorry, this is not sponsored, obviously. Coincidentally, it's the same brand as that roof rack up there, which was pre-installed in the van prior to us purchasing it. This is a pre-owned van. We bought it from a private party. It had like, what, 13,000 miles on it?
Yeah.
And we just had it serviced for the first time, service A, $1,000 later for an oil change. Not doing that again. What's gonna happen is all of this is going there, but I gotta cut out a good portion of this stock bumper, and you have a included skid plate with it. So this is actually the best looking bumper that I personally saw online, and I'm happy she chose it because it came with Baja design lights, and those are cool. Babe, you're a rebel now. You're joining the no front plate gang. And that's with all modifications that include cutting stuff up and messing with wiring. We start by disconnecting the battery. But these Sprinters have a quick disconnect from factory, which is awesome. More cars need these. Now remember, when you're taking apart plastic interior pieces, if it feels weird, just pull harder. It'll come off. My wife's groping my butt.
Pull harder.
This is why we can't work together. So there's one battery, I think in the floorboard by the driver. What I don't know though, if this van has an accessory battery and then a starter battery. It'd be cool, but if there's an accessory, we gotta unhook both batteries. You find your hood? Oh, we're gonna be here for a while, guys. Well, there it is, guys. 4 cylinders of turbo diesel power. And it's also got an AARP compressor. We kind of scored on this van. We paid much less than MSRP buying secondhand. We also had a few goodies that he paid someone to install on this. Roof rack, tow hitch, compressor system, and like some interior paneling, which is actually coming out in this video anyways. Oh yeah, we're getting windows. 2 windows. That's right, 2 windows, bumpers, side rails, wheels, tires. This thing's gonna look epic by the end of this video. Just stick around. Now the FVC bumper includes these stencils, which you use to mark the area you'll be cutting the factory bumper at a later step. Once these are marked, it's time to remove this massive piece of plastic. Ooh, look at you. We just mentioned we took this thing in for service. $1,000 for an oil change and like 1 or 2 other things. I just wanted it on record that Mercedes serviced this Mercedes at a dealership just in case anything goes wrong.
Well, now you got extra proof that they did it because look at the mess they made.
I figured, you know, Mercedes tech at their hourly rate would be a little bit more buttoned up than that. There it is. And then this plastic front bumper's coming off. New bumper's not plastic, it's... right, perfect. Just hold it there. I'm gonna go get some lunch. She's complaining about the gloves I just gave her. So basically what we're gonna do next is mount a mounting plate to the, stock frame rail location. Got 4 bolts, it's gonna hold it in, and then we go from there to start mounting up. And wifey did a great job tightening these down, and I for sure didn't go in right after her just to double check. Now with the bracket mounted on, next came the task of assembling this FVC bumper from what seemed like 100 different pieces. It took a while, but the fit and finish on each of these components were top notch and absolutely solid. Guys, Mr. Mo Betta is killing it again. Yes, Mo Betta is gonna be his name. You guys in the comments, more creative than anybody. It's been less than a week, but we're making him Mo again because we have some storms coming in tonight. We might as well get some fresh stripes in the lawn. And I'm so proud of you. Look what you're building. You tore your Sprinter van apart. Rad looking bumper. And you got some Baja Designs amber pod lights. They look good. The bull bar, the high clearance, you can get a skid plate that kind of tucks everything up nicely. Kind of reminisce of that guy right there. You're looking like you've done this before. You're impressing me. Check this out, guys. She's got the Baja Designs pod lights installed on her brand new FVC bumper. She's gonna leave the wiring to me because I still gotta figure out how in the world, or where in the world, we're gonna hook this up at. Heck yeah, babe. Heck yeah. Brand new Nitto TERRA GRAPPLER G3s that are going on this thing. I think we decided we're gonna go on the wild side. Most of these Nitto off-road tires have 2 different sidewall options. You, as the consumer, get to choose which one you want, which is amazing. So we're gonna go with the, I'm gonna call it the more wild side. Got a little more triangular padded around the outside. 5 of those bad boys and 5 black Rhino wheels that look like tank armored vehicle wheels. Are insane. She wanted them. This is her build. This is what she chose. This is what we're putting on here. We got some trimming to do on our factory plastic bumper, and then we're getting the cutting wheel out because we're gonna be cutting 2 massive holes in the side of this van because we're putting 2 new windows. Because right now it's a windowless van with children in the back. Not perfect, just Mo Betta. All right, not my finest work, not even close. We're gonna clean that edge up quite a bit. And this is the real life of modding cars. Makes you very sleepy.
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Sorry, long story short, I'm not okay with the fit. This thing comes with a template, which we use to make that cut and trim. I'm not okay with that. So I'm gonna pull it back off, make a couple more cuts, get it to where I want it, and then we'll... Sorry, not where I want it, where she wants it, because this is her van. Woo, bumper is on. Look at that, guys. Wifey ran inside to grab some Span Musu bees for a quick snack because we have like 397 bolts and nuts to assemble the skid plate that goes up underneath our brand new bumper. So run a skid plate from that point all the way up underneath. The lower cross member with the lower control arms are mounted up. It's gonna make that all look nice and clean because this van does sit pretty high and that cross member is very visible from the front. Really happy we pulled it back off and cleaned it up. We do have one more bolt to put in here, which is gonna keep this nice and flush up against that bumper, but everything else turned out really, really, really good. Amber, definitely the right choice for this one. You ready for a skid plate?
Skid plate time.
All right, so we have all these pieces and a bag full of nuts.
When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end.
Well, look at that, guys. It's super late, but it's on there. Had a bunch of issues with the skid plate, but we figured it out. I didn't realize how robust that skid plate is. So it, from the bumper, protects the lower part of the engine and the front diff. Actually, it extends and continues all the way up and under. That's a serious bumper and skid plate, and it seriously looks amazing. But it's seriously late, so we'll see you in the morning. So we started the new day off with some paint. Decided to go gloss black on the Mercedes emblem on the front, so sanded it down, hit it with some self-etching primer, and then we dove into wiring up these new Baja design lights, getting a switch installed in the dash. It's time to finally figure out if these things work or not. So we have wired into the battery, through the firewall, we've reconnected the ground on the Sprinter. Now, this should... Okay, good, that's illuminated. That's good news. And yes, let's go. Let's get this thing shut down. Get this thing cleaned up because it's time for our next task, which is going to involve cutting that out. Oh, man, that's going to be a pain. I was hoping the van would be back on the ground on its new wheels and tires by now, but USPS has lost my wheel adapters. And so in order to run these aftermarket wheels, the bigger tires, we actually have to kick the tire out just a little bit. So we're gonna come out about 16 to 20 millimeters out with an adapter that actually allows you to put it on like an American car with the studs coming out of the hub. And USPS cannot find those. And they're over $400, by the way. You ready for some windows, bud? Let's do this. You ready for some windows? Finally. Yank this off. The windows were purchased in December of 2024. We just got the second window finally. Was it the fourth or fifth window before they got it right? Long story short, we got what we needed. It only took 6 months. Oh, and she hasn't seen her lights yet. Hey, Aloha. Watch this. Yeah. Sweet as. Sweet as brew. I don't know what it is. Just in the last hour, it's gotten absolutely miserable in here. And yes, I do need to finish the shop. I see your comments. It is coming. We're working kind of behind the scenes on a few different things. We do need to finish the brick and then the insulation. It is hotter than Hades right now. We've double and triple checked the measurements, and I think we're about ready to go. So you'll see the yellow line. Okay. That's where the cut's gonna be made because there's like a double skin right here. But what I need you to do is drill the first hole, because if this goes badly, this is your fault. Are you prepared for this? Yeah. This is our most expensive vehicle we own. Just about to drill a hole in it. Oh! Hi. Yeah, keep them going. Keep them going. This is actually pretty stressful, and it's hotter than heck. But I do want to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Element, for keeping us hydrated, because it's about to get very sweaty and stressful right now. All right, so next up, we need a jigsaw because I got to cut in between the holes that you just put it in the van. All right, so what I need to do is take those holes and connect the dots up and around. And I might need your help when I get towards the end, because this is going to want to fall out or fall in. Wait, you ordered this window, not this window, right?
The song that's stuck in my head right now is like...
For a limited time, Element has launched a lemonade salt flavor. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium in this easy to go little packet. During the summer months, these are absolutely clutch when it comes to staying hydrated, especially on these hot, sweaty days, and especially when we're building one of the most epic sprinter vans on this planet. Each serving delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes. It's formulated for anyone that's on a mission to restore health through hydration. So from professional athletes to special forces to naive do-it-yourselfers. It's like a cheat code for staying hydrated. Zero sugar, none of those other dodgy ingredients found in other sports drinks. It makes me feel good. Unlike cutting up a van, it does not make me feel good. I'm gonna tape up the rest of it so it doesn't fall down and damage the rest of this paint. And then we gotta be careful pulling it out. Hi, you got a window. All right, don't judge the cut. It's a little bit janky. I'm gonna take a grinder and clean this edge up real nice. The window goes all the way to here. So this indentation you see is gonna be all window. So this does not matter other than anybody sitting here looking can see some of the waviness. So we're gonna clean it up. There you go, babe. One window down. I'm gonna start a new business. I can make any car convertible in 30 minutes or less. I wasn't kidding about it being hot in here today. But guys, head over to drinkelement.com/LoneStar. You can score yourself a free sample pack with any purchase, and there's no risk to that purchase because, as always, if you guys don't like it, give it to a salty friend and then return it, no questions asked. Thank you so much to Element for sponsoring today's video and launching this delicious lemonade salt flavor. Element, keep it forever. Good.
With the window now cut out, we want to clean up that edge as best as we can. We're going to install an edge trim that'll cover up a lot of the imperfections, but before that goes on, we add some paint to the bare metal to keep that from rusting. The edge trim that I ordered was a little more narrow than most folks use at 1/4 inch, because I figured I could clamp the two panels of metal together and have that trim lock the two together because I wanted this thing to be super tight. With the edge installed, we move to the outside, hitting the clear coat where that primer and adhesive will eventually go with the sanding block. We want to rough up the surface, not cutting through the clear, but giving it a good spot to stick, and a little bit of mineral spirits after to clean up. We are ready to put down some primer.
Single step primer, 3M. Come behind me. There goes nothing, guys. Never done this before. 3M window weld. Yeah. And it's very hot today, which is a good thing for this curing fairly quick. We got a cute new tool, which I never plan on owning, but given you're supposed to have this thing be so dang steady. Here goes nothing. All right, let's yeah, put the camera down because I need your help here. Grab this one. I gotta flip it around because I'm upside down. Keep. You wanna help me guide me in that corner? Morning, guys. The window installation did not go swimmingly, but I think we're gonna be okay. So we got to set in, we got to press in real nicely. Because of this ladder here, we couldn't just set it and then fold it into the van to get it into the right location. We had to kind of weave it in. And because of that, we actually did touch the upper side right about here. Only time's gonna tell if that's gonna leak or not. And if that does, that's a bad day. What we're doing this morning is getting the tires mounted onto the new wheels. So we do need to jockey the cars around a little bit, load it in the back of the Makaha runner, and go take them to get mounted. This is gonna look insane.
Freight car steaming down the line to Birmingham.
Ooh, they are pretty. And they're all balancing out amazing. That's all the weight they're taking. These Nittos come so freaking balanced.
Gives a damn. Running on the borderline. Southbound on a riverboat to Baton Rouge.
All right, new ETA on the wheel adapters is tomorrow. So they found it and it should be here tomorrow. It's gonna give it a wider track, wider stance, more stability, but more importantly, it's gonna look sick. Let's go. All right, side number one, still drying, on to side number two. So we're gonna pull down the paneling, pull off that nasty sticky stuff, and then go on with cutting a massive hole. And then we go on to gluing the new one in. But since we know how to do it now, this one should go a little bit smoother, hopefully.
Southbound on a riverboat to Baton Rouge. Hillbound like a river.
We're getting better. It's a lot straighter than the other side. I'll give it that. I was curious when that was gonna happen.
Similar to the first side, once the panel was cut out, we took a grinder and smoothed out those edges the best we could. A little bit of paint to the exposed metal and the trim edge was installed between those two pieces of sheet metal to hold them together and provide a nice clean edge. Once that was installed, we were ready to get that window in.
All right, time for a quick test fit. So we're gonna fit it in. She's gonna mark the inside of it with a pencil, and then I come back and prepare the surface. This window is a lot lighter than the other one. Oh, it's probably a good thing because this is the sliding door. All right. All right, go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna practice putting this thing in. So we're gonna set the bottom in first. We'll get some spacers down there. Top fold to top, and then squish up. That's what we should have done on the other one.
Yeah.
Practice.
Practice, man.
Whew. So this pencil mark is where the trim edge is. So we got this thing trimmed. This trim edge is amazing, by the way. And I've already roughed up the surface just outside of that where the adhesive is gonna go. I'm gonna put the adhesive straight to the body because this area is fairly small and you gotta get that adhesive down right there. Window number 2, Maui.
This part, probably not required, but took a sanding block to the edge of the window to rough up the area where the adhesive needs to stick. Cleaned it off with some mineral spirits after, and we were ready for this 3M window weld.
Here we go. Okay, let's go.
Windows.
So, we're good. Onto the steps and wheels and tires.
We got 2 windows. Now, we got some steps. So the van's gonna be about 1.5 inches higher than it already was. And it was already too high for the boys to get in and out by themselves. So this is definitely gonna help, as well as help my old butt get into this thing. We bought these from Owl Vans, OWL. This is actually the style we saw at SEMA this last year. There's a Sprinter van out there. Oh, it looked phenomenal. So we're kind of taking inspiration from that build and pulling in some of the parts and components that I showed my wife that she liked, that we purchased. Happy wife, sick looking van.
These steps are actually set up pretty cool. OWL, or OWL, as you drill 2 holes through the pinch weld for each of these brackets to bolt through. Then you go in from the inside and drill out an additional 2 holes to insert a riv nut, which gives you a location to thread in 2 more bolts to mount the backside of this bracket to the van, to support the weight of anybody stepping in or out of the black pearl. And I do want to give some props to OWL for the fit and finish as well as the build quality on these side steps. This is impressive.
Even simple things like this, extra hardware. A little Ziploc bag, written in hand, extra hardware, and it has another riv nut and a few other bolts and whatnot. I've used 1 or 2 of these already. All right, it's getting late once again, but we came back out here because I have a advantage case of OCA, or obsessive compulsive advantage, and I didn't like where that 3rd bracket was located. Now they recommend, I think it was like 23-inch spacing in between the 2nd and 3rd one, but put the 3rd one right about here. And because we do have a ladder, if we do climb up the ladder, it's highly likely you're gonna step here, and there was no support in this section. So we cut the bracket back off from here, moved it all the way down to this point. I'm happy now I can actually sleep tonight. That is the best looking step in the aftermarket for these vans. I love this loop design, the step for the driver. This is never gonna be used because there's no door on this side, but because we do have a ladder, I did want that structure here, just in case you climb on up going that route. We'll see you guys in the morning because we're gonna knock out the other side, and we should have our wheel adapters and spacers arriving tomorrow. We got a few other things we're gonna do for the exterior, but then we have to dive into the interior, which is important because this van's being built for a purpose right now. There's a reason we aren't on the exterior of the shop bricking, because we have a trip coming up that this needs to be ready for, which is why we're doing it now, and it's looking epic. Really good news. Our wheel adapters seem to be moving through the USPS system and should be arriving here in the next few hours. So that's a sigh of relief because getting those reordered and re-out here could have just blown this entire build up because that would have been weeks. Fortunately, that's not the case. It looks like we're gonna be okay. Side steps look amazing. Bumper looks phenomenal. This van is transforming, but there's one thing that's gonna set it above and beyond what it currently looks like, and that's wheel and tires. Now, stock wheels and tires aren't bad on this thing. They're running 245, 75/16, so little tiny, call it 31 inch or 31.5 inch tall tires. And the previous owner did option out for the gloss black wheel. So they didn't look bad for factory, but we are upgrading to the maximum size tire you can possibly put on this thing without freaking out the electronics. So between the wheel speed, sensor, cruise control, radar, all the stuff that the Sprinter has on it, if you go any more than a 275, this tire I believe is like 32.5 inches tall. You freak it all out. But what we need to solve for before we can even get these on here and show you how amazing it looks is clear some of this area out. So from all the videos and research I've done, it looks like there is a clearance issue on the back side when you run this size of tire. They make kits to adapt for larger tires, but like anything on this Sprinter van, it's stupid expensive. We've cut fenders before to clear big tires, so I'm gonna figure out how to do it myself without paying $200 for 2 pieces of plastic. Well, that was a pleasant surprise. Pulled everything out and noticed that this was plastic and not metal like I expected. And then I looked a little closer and noticed that this has been cut and pounded back with a hammer. Someone's been in here before. I'm pretty sure the previous owner of this van actually invested in that $200 piece of plastic I was ranting about earlier. And I think that's what this is. And if that's the case, this thing should be able to clear those 32, 33 inch tires. I think we just scored, guys. I did not expect that. I expected to be fully cutting us up for the next hour or so. So that's a big win. Here we go, guys. Perfect timing. So from Alpine Van Works, these are like $400. Everything on this Sprinter is stupid expensive. There's actually wheel spacers or adapters that are even more expensive. These are like the most competitive price. Some of these are like $650 to $700. Please fit. That's nice. And we got lugs. So these spacers are 20 millimeters across. This is also gonna convert this in the traditional Mercedes where you have the lug bolts to lug nuts. And it'll also kick that tire out 20 millimeters, which is what I want. Here's our new studs. So we got our new studs. We're gonna get some red thread locker on the ends of these. Torque these down to spec, whatever that spec is. We'll be able to bolt up our new spacer, hub centric, and then we just wheel on top of that. Good to go. Getting it? All right, need you to make an executive decision on what we're gonna cut. All right, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, there are the Black Rhino wheels wrapped in Nitto tire TERRA GRAPPLER G3s. These are phenomenal tires for what we need on the Sprinter van or the Black Pearl. Front's fine. I think the previous owner invested in what we needed here. The problem now is the back. So, mud flap.
Oh, gosh, it's kissing it.
Half a finger. And this is ride height, so all the weight is on the rear axle, so this is sitting where it would sit. 2 choices. Choice number 1, I pull the mud flap off, do what most people do, which is cut back the body, and then pull the mud flap back all the way, and it would remain kind of how it is. Or, second option is where the blue tape is, I would cut off. If I were to cut it like this, it'd be about 4 inches here, 4 inches there, it'd be square.
Cut it. Let's do it.
I knew I married her for a reason.
Cut it.
It's gonna look better that way.
Yeah, I didn't realize that one was shorter.
You don't realize it until you look at them.
No, yeah.
Before, after.
All right, both mud flaps cut. This is the final product. Try to grind that down and sand the edges down to make it look, I don't know, somewhat OEM. took the same curve from the front and applied it to the back. So basically where that's cut, coming across this way, we can get the rest of these tires on here and be off on our way. This thing looks amazing, and we're gonna do a full reveal here in a moment, but unfortunately we do have some trimming. I just wanted to double check, so we went ahead and put the van under a little bit of a suspension compression. Yeah, we're making contact. So we moved the wheel back and forth, and we're gonna have to trim right about there and come down and then go all the way across to the top. And then we should be good. And then we'll show you the whole van. It looks pretty mean. Your van's pretty cool. I'm tired, a little bit loopy. I grabbed this instead of my hat. I don't want you guys to see my hair on camera. Mobetta built merch, link in description below. Bunker branding.
We did it.
What do you guys think? You excited about this build? So I want to get the exterior somewhat kind of how she envisioned it, or we envisioned it, and it looks phenomenal. Everything about this just looks like it belongs on here. The wider track width, hands down, was one of the best changes. It feels so planted now. Bumper is insane. The side steps just work. We did a lot in this video, guys, but don't worry, because next video, we're diving in inside.
Everything.
Eventually. So a lot of you guys ask like why we haven't finished a freaking shop. Don't worry, it is in the plans coming in a few weeks. Everything we've done over the last few months has been kind of event driven. We had LS Fest Texas just a few weeks ago, and we had to finish the truck to get over there. So the focus shifted towards the truck. We got a big trip coming up here in a few weeks. We're driving across the country in that thing. So we needed to get to a spot where I was comfortable driving across the country and also filming some content with it. So this is the focus currently, but in a few weeks, we're gonna be having a little bit of a marathon, for lack of a better term, finishing up this shop. We have the west, the east side, the south side for the full exterior brick. We have a ton of stuff happening on the inside of this building. Because everything is kind of event driven at the moment, the focus lies here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you see anything on the exterior we should change or add to the Black Pearl. That's gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us in this episode. But I'm a mess. I need to go take a shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See you next time. Aloha. For as long as I can remember, I have been messing with my wife's truck.
What's the matter?
Can I see that again? Just